Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be nearing the end of his journey. His split with Mike McCarthy felt permanent, a chapter closed years ago. But now the two are talking again, and Pittsburgh could become the stage for one final Super Bowl run. For most players, 21 seasons in the NFL is not a career. It is an entire era. It is generations of teammates, coaches, systems, injuries, reinvention, and survival. For Aaron Rodgers, that era was supposed to be over, or at least nearing its final chapter. Retirement whispers had followed him for years. Each offseason carried the same question. Is this the end? Is this finally it? But now, in a turn few expected, the answer may be no. The odds are quietly increasing that Aaron Rodgers will return for a 22nd NFL season. Not as a ceremonial farewell, not as a mentor on the sidelines, but as a starting quarterback with championship expectations. And the place where this final chapter could unfold is Pittsburgh. The idea alone would have sounded unrealistic not long ago. Rodgers in black and gold. Rodgers leading the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodgers reunited with the coach many believed he would never work with again. Yet, behind closed doors, reality has begun to shift. Multiple reports now confirm that Rodgers has had several private conversations with newly hired Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy. These were not symbolic calls. They were not polite check-ins between former colleagues. They were football conversations. Conversations that only happen when both sides are seriously considering alignment. To understand why this matters, you have to go back. Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy are permanently connected through their years with the Green Bay Packers. Together, they defined an era of efficiency and dominance. They won Super Bowl 45. They turned Rodgers into a four-time MVP. They built offenses that punished mistakes and elevated quarterback play to an art form. But that partnership did not end gracefully. By the final years in Green Bay, cracks had become visible. Philosophical differences grew louder. Rodgers wanted more control. McCarthy wanted structure. Play calling became a source of tension. Trust eroded. When McCarthy was dismissed mid-season, many believed the relationship was fractured beyond repair. Rodgers moved forward. McCarthy moved away. A cold professional silence followed. No public reconciliation. No nostalgia-driven reunions. Just distance. Which is why these conversations now carry so much weight. Rodgers does not engage lightly at this stage of his career. Every season demands more from his body than the last. Recovery takes longer. Preparation is heavier. The margin for error shrinks. If he is speaking seriously with McCarthy, it suggests something deeper than curiosity. It suggests belief. From Rodgers' perspective, the decision is not about legacy. That part is secure. He is already one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the position. The resume speaks for itself. What remains is meaning. A 22nd season would only make sense if it offered a real chance to win. Pittsburgh presents exactly that. The Steelers are not rebuilding. Their defense remains elite. Their organizational stability is unmatched in modern football. The culture does not change with trends. It is built on patience, accountability, and physical identity. What they have lacked in recent years is certainty at quarterback when January arrives. Rodgers provides that immediately. He brings command at the line of scrimmage. He brings postseason experience. He brings the belief that one drive can change everything. Even at this stage, his presence alone alters how opponents prepare. For Mike McCarthy, this opportunity carries its own weight. The Steelers' hire was not symbolic. It was foundational. Pittsburgh did not bring McCarthy in to oversee a slow transition. They brought him in to win. McCarthy has spent years watching the league evolve. He understands what works. He understands what breaks down. Most importantly, he understands Aaron Rodgers better than anyone. He knows how to challenge him without alienating him. He knows when to push and when to step back. Their earlier conflicts came from timing and ego more than incompatibility. Time has a way of reshaping perspective. This would not be a reunion built on nostalgia. It would be built on clarity. Both men understand what went wrong before. Both understand what is required now. That mutual understanding changes everything. There is also urgency on both sides. Rodgers does not have years left. He has moments. one window, one final push. He is not returning for comfort. He is returning for purpose. The Steelers are not waiting. They believe their roster is ready. The defense is championship level. The locker room is mature. What remains is leadership at the most important position. This is why the conversations matter. They are not about proving the past wrong. They are about closing it properly. In the NFL, reunions often fail because they chase memory instead of reality. This situation is different. It is grounded in present need and shared understanding. Rodgers knows McCarthy's system. The terminology is familiar. The structure is familiar. That reduces transition risk. At this stage, familiarity is not a weakness. It is an advantage. McCarthy knows how Rodgers thinks. He knows how he processes defenses. He knows how to build around his strengths without suffocating creativity. For Pittsburgh, this would send a clear message. This franchise is not settling. It is choosing ambition. Nothing has been signed. No announcement has been made. Rodgers has not publicly committed. But the tone around the league has changed. What once felt unlikely now feels plausible. And in professional football, plausibility is often the first step toward reality. If this happens, it will reshape how both careers are remembered. Rodgers would not be the quarterback who drifted quietly into retirement. He would be the quarterback who chose one last fight, one last city, one last locker room, one last chance to compete for the prize that still matters. McCarthy would not be remembered only for how things ended in Green Bay. He would be remembered as the coach who rebuilt trust, adapted, and took one final swing with the quarterback who defined his career. And Pittsburgh would once again become the center of the NFL conversation. This would not be about revenge. It would not be about redemption narratives written by outsiders. It would be about alignment. Two professionals who once clashed now understanding exactly what they need from each other. A franchise willing to bet on experience over experimentation. A moment where timing finally feels right. Sometimes the most powerful moves in football happen quietly. No press conference, no dramatic declarations, just conversations, honest ones. That is where this story is now. And if alignment holds, the final chapter of Aaron Rodgers' career may not end in silence. It may end under the lights in Pittsburgh. With purpose, with clarity, and with one last chance to chase the only thing that still drives him. What makes this situation different is the absence of illusion. Rodgers understands his body. He understands recovery. He understands the weekly demand of preparing for complex defenses that disguise coverage and pressure better than ever. He would not return unless he believed he could still control a game in the fourth quarter. That belief is not rooted in ego. It is rooted in film study and experience. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, the calculation is direct. Their defense can close games. Their roster is structured to compete immediately. What they require is precision. At quarterback, Rodgers offers decision-making at the line, tempo control, and situational mastery in January football. Those qualities do not appear often, and they do not develop overnight. For Mike McCarthy, this is about structure meeting intelligence. He knows how to build a weekly plan that protects Rodgers while still empowering him. He knows where flexibility is necessary and where discipline wins. The earlier friction between them was shaped by expectation and fatigue. Time has replaced tension with perspective. If this partnership reforms, it will not attempt to recreate Green Bay. It will build something specific to Pittsburgh. Different locker room, different leadership core, same objective. This is not a farewell tour. It is a calculated pursuit of one more championship window.